Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and today I would like to share with you guys my final thoughts on the Twosun knives model TS298. This is a incredible knife that I picked up for a sweet price from a subscriber on NAF sale and also on my channel here. He's actually purchased knives from me before, which I think is pretty wonderful. It's just it's a cool little community that's growing on NAFSA, which I'm super excited about, and all the stuff going on over there. So I will be pulling specs off of Amazon and linking this directly from Amazon. I tried looking it up on White Mountain Knives and I can't find it, but White Mountain Knives typically carries a butt ton of Twosun knives, but it is here currently available during the recording of this video. $100, $99.99. That is the cheapest one that I could find. Brand new, no strings attached. It might take a little bit to get to you, but that's just how it typically is. You can get them on eBay. Sometimes they're from US sellers, but they cost a little bit more. They're usually like 20-30 bucks more. Not a big deal if you want the knife fast. If you have a little bit of patience, just wait, save the money. Why not? You're not missing out on a whole lot, honestly. The blade material on this is 14C28N. Wonderful blade material for that price point, and you're getting extremely excellent construction, micro milling, and just overall great design. Let's see, any other important information on Amazon? No, not really. Okay, let's get the weight and some size comparisons going. That should help you guys get a good visual representation of what this guy is all about. This is definitely a medium-sized feeling knife, but the weight, as you can see, 4.2. Yeah, it's kind of weighty for what it is, but it's not that bad. You are getting full titanium micro milled texturing on the surface, a nice, beautifully sculpted and milled clip, T8 all the way around, which puts it into the entrance of the perfect knife category. That being able to take apart a knife with just one bit, in my opinion, is just, it's on another level. It's guaranteed to put a knife on a whole nother level versus having multiple different types of hardware to take apart. There is some internal weight relief, but they could have gone a whole lot deeper. It's very, very faint. There's not much on it. But of course, more milling equals more time, meaning they can't get the product out faster. So, there's the price, which is great. You benefit from that. $100. This is a lot of knife, and I highly recommend it, especially for that price point. But it is going to be a little weighty, and that's going to be one of the main things that sometimes can keep people from getting Twosun knives, because the one thing that I know they slack on is their blade stock thickness. Just their grind time overall, the time it takes to thin things out as it probably should be. As you can see, this thing is pretty thick, and there's a whole lot of meat up towards that tip. I love this knife so much that I'm actually this is going to be the first knife I send to BGM on Instagram. If I'm able to, I will link him down, but he does regrinds. I want him to put the sickest hollow he can on this, and I'm gonna ask him if he can actually thin down or create a swedge. I'm just gonna tell him, have fun with it, do what you want with it, essentially. But I want this to be a mega slicer because it is actually a wonderful little knife to use. Well, not little, it's medium size, but it's good for me. It's plenty of knife for me, and the shape is incredible. I have very much enjoyed taking this to work, but it is very thick behind the edge. So some people may like that because it is on the robust side. But that's the one thing that some people may not like, is that Twosun doesn't spend a whole lot of time with milling and thinning things out, but their build quality and finish, freaking sweet. So some size comparison knives. We got the bug out. Here's the 80-20.5. It's a little bit shorter, a little stumpier. Let's do some Spydercos. We got the PM2, Native 5, sharpened it and finally got rid of that rust. So you guys don't have to look at that ugly rust on that exposed edge right there. Let's do the f5.5 right there. And here we have the Wii Praxis. So hopefully that helps you guys get a good visual representation of what this guy is all about. It is like the dimensions are of a full-size knife, but it feels like a medium-sized knife because there is no like choke-up position. It's the one grip and that's it. You can maybe a little bit, but it's just a little sketchy. I wouldn't really recommend it. But that's really about it. Talking about the action, incredible, absolutely beautiful. Disengagement is wonderful, and I do have some of the KPL original in here. I did test it out with the heavy and the lightweight. Honestly, didn't really see a whole major difference between the two, so I just figured, okay, I'll check it out with the original, and I've just kind of left it like that. I haven't sharpened it yet because I do have the intention to send it to BGM, and he's probably going to remove a lot of material. He does offer a very coarse, working finish edge on it. So I'm not going to be sharpening this. Right after this video, I'm actually going to contact him. I know his services aren't super expensive, but for the work he does, honestly, it's definitely a steal for sure. So I'm super excited for that. Take some up and closes of this thing overall. Looking at some of the blade steel stamps here, RIHE designs, don't really know much about them, but Twosun works with a lot of different designers. And here it is, the model and the blade steel stamp. Honestly, I can do away with all that kind of stuff. It doesn't really need to be there. It could be something a little bit smaller. Here on this side, you have Twosun with their little logo. Not that big of a deal. Nothing on the pivot. It's nice and clean. You have that kind of satin machine finish that is quite beautiful. And again, just taking a look at some of the little design features and milling. This is contoured, sculpted. Over here, there's this nice little pass-through. It's not intended for a lanyard, but if you really wanted to, I guess you could. I wouldn't recommend it. You have a half-length titanium backspacer, which is super sweet. Thankfully, the tolerances are good enough to where it actually doesn't make contact with it, so I'm grateful for that. I know a couple of their models, they have had issues with that in the past, and they typically end up correcting them, but not after they make hundreds of them. So that's unfortunate, and they usually end up sitting on Amazon for a while, so just be a little wary of that. It's always good to watch content on different models before you just go and buy it, because then you might end up running into an issue like that. Talking about the pivot, side to side, nothing. Up or down, nothing at all. Lockup is super solid. Any movement within the pivot, nothing at all. It is absolutely bank vault solid. Feels great. You have T8, a little decorative T8 pivot here in the back for adjustment and tightening everything down. That is quite nice. You have a hardened steel insert. It also has a little tab for over travel stop, which is quite nice. I do definitely appreciate that. That is a standard overall. Even the screw to remove that is a, you know what, I'm pretty sure that is a T8. So we can go ahead and check real quick. This is my little NAPSCO strop and Civivi bit driver. Okay, no, that's a T6. That's definitely a T6. So, that's not really a piece of hardware you're going to be interacting with much. But everything else, including the clip, is a T8, which again is wonderful. Taking this thing apart, cleaning it out, reassembly, super straightforward. There's no gimmicks. There's no weird this or that or the other. That's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot much more that I have to say about this. The action is wonderful. It's super snappy. Now, I believe that the action will get a little bit better once some weight is removed from that blade, because it does feel heavy. Like, I believe the reason why this action is so incredible is because there is a lot of weight, but once the blade is thinned out, I think it'll come out a little bit harder, a little faster, but because of the tolerances within the pivot, I believe it'll still stay just as smooth and quite as drop shutty, as you can see here, with just a little bit of encouragement. Alrighty, I apologize for that interruption. My phone was giving me a heat warning. It is very hot where I live right now, and it's kind of annoying. But like I was saying before, ceramic detent ball, they're nylon cage ceramic bearings, and that is a recipe for an incredibly smooth action. So that is that's pretty much it. Just take a couple other little up and closes of this thing. Everything is just well knocked down, no sharp corners where they don't need to be. The only sharp part of this knife is the actual edge itself, and that is how it should be. Taking a closer look at this blade, plunge grind, excellent. You'll get a good bit of life out of this thing, even after the regrind that I plan to do on this, or have get done to this, because I'm not doing it. Honestly, I believe there's still going to be plenty of life left to this. So this is definitely a wonderful design. I do definitely recommend it. If you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you are subscribed already, thank you so much for all you guys' support. I appreciate your patience, of course. If you guys are not subscribed, go ahead and consider subscribing, because I have plenty more content coming your guys' way of unboxing, reviews, modification videos, and all that fun stuff. With that being said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.